inspiring communities, breaking structures, breaking all of that stuff away. This is what we're inspired to do during this eclipse, or were inspired to do during this eclipse that happened February 17th of this year. This eclipse, it was a time of collaboration, connection, honest coming together of people. This was about freeing yourself and not being afraid to not be with the tribe. Now I'm filming this video on the day of a major total solar eclipse in Leo. Today, set intentions, but don't be too tight with those intentions. Astrologers say during the day of an eclipse like today that you shouldn't set intentions, because the universe is just going to come in and just take over. I say different. I say that you can, that you're invited to, especially during eclipse, because that represents major beginnings and major endings. Hence, this is a South Node eclipse that we're experiencing today. And if you haven't seen the 2 videos that I did on the solar eclipse, you can go way back to this podcast and see those videos. But today we're talking about a past eclipse. And I've already done the first video on this. I've already done the collective video. So this is the 12 sign look at what the signs might needed to know during that time. What all 12 signs needed to know. What they all needed to know. What they all needed to remember. And so I'm going to be talking about going through all 12 signs today, because I prepared this video late last night with the intention of doing it. So I'm going to be doing that today. Timestamps are in the description. If you do not know your sun, moon, and rising sign, you can go to astro.com and find that information out. Anyway, think of this as a look at the next Aquarius solar eclipse, or a look at the past Aquarius solar eclipse, or just general, and I mean general, things to think about. Whatever time you're listening, that's the great thing about these horoscopes, is that you can listen to it 5 years in the future and you can find something beneficial out of it, because I do not use a house system that impacts a certain area of your life that's no longer going to be relevant. I mean, I don't think, because your life changes from February to August, right? So this is, these readings are general, so take what resonates, leave the rest. That's what I invite. That's what I inspire. Let's begin. Let's start with Aries. During this time, you might have looked at the habit patterns that you have developed and what isn't working out for you anymore. What habit patterns of aggression, anger, rage have not worked out for you anymore? What are these patterns that seem to sink you into a hole of deduction? They seem to really consume your energy and make you very, very fighting stanchial in the maker shiftings, where you're like, This is not the way to create the world, the age of Aquarius, is this aggressive, egoic, fighting mentality. It's a way of fighting. It's a way of fighting the aggressive mentality. Aggressive anger, aggressive rage. And you might be consumed by it. Might be just consumed. And Eclipse told you, like, maybe it's time to get out of this. Because it's Aquarius, it's for humanity, it's for the collective, it's for thinking of the greater good. And if you're aggressive and angry, how is it serving the greater good? I mean, people fighting on the streets and throwing china to houses is not as effective as peaceful protests. Is not as effective as diplomatic conversation and discussion. Is not as diplomatic as doing civil actions to create the change that you want to see and to advocate for that change, right? So this is not the way. The way is water, the way is gentle, the way is air, the way is communication, the way is connection. That's what you have learned to understand in this way. So we're looking at when you become reactive, when you become triggered. That's huge for you, Aries. Now, what future do you want? Do you want a future where life is controlled by AI, surveillance, divisiveness, that kind of thing coming up? You want a future where we're all restricted into living a life that society wants us to live and not the life that we truly want to live? Or do you want to live in a world where we all live unified, brighter, connected, collaborative, equal, utopian? What world do we want? I'm asking you, Aries. What future do you want? And what are you going to do to create it? What are you going to do to be a participant in creating that future? Your choice. It's a choice point. Now, going back to what I was saying about aggression, what structures are you setting around aggression? Because if you are to be for humanity, and if you are to truly believe in these higher principles, in these just principles, in these things that you fight for from your heart and soul, you've got to release this anger and this ego and this aggression. So rein it in. Find ways to rein the anger in and bring it back to your heart and your soul to be able to say, no, I don't believe in people acting this way, so I'm not going to act in this way. I shouldn't. Nobody should. We're all equal. Recognizing, again, when you get triggered, all these things, very important for Aries. Now for Taurus, what is the role of the manager? You know what the manager is? The one that serves everybody, the one that goes around and helps. It makes sure that everybody's on task. It makes sure that everybody's just doing everything that they're supposed to do. But is this role of managing people serving you? This doesn't have to be a position. This can be a micromanager. This can be a controller in the family, managing people's tasks and what they decide to do around the home. Is this really serving you, Taurus? Is this role of control really serving others? Or is it not your choice in the matter? Now, you earn money, you work very, very hard for money, but sometimes you want to displace it into a secret mechanism for your life. And so, what secrets have you kept money in? What secrets, Taurus? What secrets have you been having? Where money that you could earn, that money that you worked so hard for, kept from you by these powerful governments and institutions. Saturn conjunct Neptune, the dissolving of powerful governments and institutions. What are those secrets about money? Are you demanding any of your money? Are you begging for the money? Are you pushing doors to get the money? Or are you just going along with whatever society is just forcing into your face? Or are you choosing, Taurus, to instead say, no, I am going to work very, very hard for this money, and darn it, I'm going to make sure that I get it, even if I have to fight my way through. Because if you have these powerful people and institutions keeping your money from you, then that means that they really don't have your best interest at heart. Nobody deserves to be in a society or a structure that does not have their best interests at heart. Do they? I don't think they do. Now, another thing to consider is where you're being the bold material masterman versus the giver of money. Think about this. Think about it. Because I believe money should be a flowing thing. It shouldn't be just where we're hoarding it and taking it for ourselves. It shouldn't be a thing. We are consuming it and hoarding ourselves with it. We should be giving money as a philanthropist, as somebody who serves humanity, because I have something that I am doing that is completely unique to me. And it's not involving the crowd. That is my individual contribution to the community. And maybe it does involve some money. But if I am continually working, selfishly getting the money, what kind of thing is that? Oh, but here's the truth about money, right? It's scarce. And it doesn't grow on trees. If it grew on trees, it'd be easy for me to tell you, share it around. But because it's not, is it really okay for you to hoard that money and earn it and keep it? That's worth considering in a very deductile way. Now, Gemini, during that time, you may have looked at guidance. And what guidance is helpful for you? What guidance steers you away from the false information that exists. What is the false information? Is it information that doesn't tell you the truth of what's going on? Is it information that keeps secrets from you? Is it information that tells you misinformation, tells you lies about this thing? Well, maybe your inner guidance, your intuition is saying, this guidance, this information is not going to serve you, and it is not true for you because it's just not true, and it's not with that principle of integrity, of truly caring for you. And so, where are you letting your head take over and not your intuition saying, we need to break away from this, we need to detach from this, we need to move away from this, and we need to develop a little bit more discernment around the information we're taking in to be able to focus on better information. Now, Gemini is an adaptable sign. It's adaptable. And therefore, it's about change. But I'm asking you, Gemini, are you really willing to go with the quality of your sign? Are you truly willing to embrace change? What will be forced onto you? What will come to you, Gemini? Or will you be adaptable? And will you go with the change? Or will you resist if you have a lot of Taurus in your chart, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and you will resist this change. And it will come knocking on your door like the big bad wolf. If you don't answer to the change, it will just hit the door over and over again until it knocks it down. Remember that whole children's story of the big bad wolf? Like, you don't want the big bad wolf coming and disrupting your life. Like, you want to respond to the energy and the feel of things to be able to change with what is going on, Gemini. To be able to then change and adapt and flex your muscles and be able to respond to change. You're not resisting it. It's not being forced upon you. It's being invited of you, and you are responding to the invitation that change is offering you. Now, be free, Gemini. And maybe change will make you free. Maybe discernment of what is true information and what is not true information will make you free. What I'm asking you now, Gemini, is to break away from restrictions that keep you from speaking your truth and sharing your voice. Think about it. What are those restrictions? And what are they trying to tell you? What is going on? Because these restrictions are not good for you. They're keeping you from your truth. They're keeping you from your authenticity. They're keeping you from really living life for yourself. Where you are not sharing what is in your mind and heart to share because you feel like you're going to get restricted and pushed and you're going to come up against a wall and that wall is going to just come back at you and break you down. Break you down. And so now you are invited to break free. To not care what the structure or system thinks. Not be beholden to the system and the structure that's holding you back. But to just be free, be spontaneous, be intellectual, be open, be communicative, be willing to dare to go against the grain. Now, Cancer. Building or buying a new house, Cancer. Good time for doing this. Aquarius invites change. Your comfy clothes, your comfy furniture, your comfy living room, your comfy this and that. Well, it's old, it's tattered, there's holes in it, it's thousands of years old. Time to move on to something new. Are you willing to embrace that change? And is your family willing to embrace the change? What spiritual plan for your family do they need to be a little bit more selective about? They can discern which plan really makes sense for me. That is really what I can do. Anyway. So, yeah. So, what plan does your family need to be more selective for? More willing to go down that plan? More willing to put roots on the plan. Build something of the plan. So what plan do they need to be more selective for? That's the first thing to consider, Cancer. What plan do they need to be open to? Do they need to be willing to open up their mind, open up their doorways, open up their way of being into a plan that unfolds rapturingly and papturingly into a new life that your family could live? Who is on board? Who isn't? That's up to you to evaluate. And if you're staying at home, what do you want to innovate or renovate around the home? That truly works out better for you. What do you want to change? To reinvent a wheel when it comes to the life that you're living at home. Maybe it's a renovation, an innovation. Something around the home, like I'm changing up the paintings on the wall. I'm changing up the way that this couch looks over here. I'm changing up the way that all these things look. Like, what really is going to work out better for you in a way? That's up to you to decide what you're going to do. I'm not going to go into it too much. You can live the life that you want to live at home. I'm not keeping you back from that. Now, Leo. Where has that robotic intellectual connection? We're just connecting on the mind, the superficial level, and not connecting inside of your heart. Heart-centered connection in relationships. And not that of the different kind of, not that of the intellectual, just talking head, talking about ideas and this and that. Like, you are not Aquarius, you are Leo, you are heart-centered energy. And during this age of Aquarius, we need to remember our own humanity. We need to remember our own heart. Because remember what I said in that Pluto and Aquarius video, like, we need to retain our humanity. We need to retain our humanity. We need to retain our sovereignty, our rulership over our own lives and our own jungle, not the massive world jungle, but over our own jungle. Because each of us gets to own a jungle. Nobody rules over the jungle that everybody inhabits, otherwise this world wouldn't be a very good place. We'd all be beholden to one person's commands. No, we all get to have our own jungles. We all get to be our own winners. Everyone's a winner. Everyone gets to shine. Everyone gets to be. Everyone gets to self-express. And that is where we need to create a better world. It's not the egoic desire to control, but the desire to simply be in our full power. There's a difference. Where does it come from? Ego versus soul. So where do you need to build in these connections? Where do you need to build in these heart-centered connections where we're all connecting on that loving level? We're all connecting in that way. Now, what path do you want to shine forward? That's a path that's a little bit more humanitarian in the sense that it cares and loves others. It's embracing of everyone. It's loving of everybody. It's accepting of everybody as they are. And so now it's time for you to be the pioneer and the man and create that path for others and for yourself, first and foremost, to create a more loving path. Now, if technology is playing a role in this Aquarian age and keeping you from heart connection, keeping you from, like, we need to be careful because during this Aquarian age of technology, we need to not get so consumed with the technology aspect of Aquarius, but we need to remember that Aquarius rules friendships, freedom, space to express. And Leo is the heart energy. Leo is that bold, bright, powerful energy. Or we need to not lose the heart, lose the love, lose the care, lose the generosity amongst the AI. Because AI is just a machine. It's just a piece of technology, even though it's great with music and beautiful art and whatever. It cannot replace humans. Oh, it's so fancy schmancy, isn't it? Oh, well, it's not real. It's not real. It's like, isn't it more real for somebody to be coming in from the forest with no makeup and nothing polished on than to be computerized and then to be all, polished and glamorized? Like, something more real to be said about that. Something more real to be said about people who do not polish themselves and do not make themselves new makeup and this and that, but who really remember their own humanity, who really remember to be in their heart, to live from their heart, to be a child, to have joy, to act in the moment with our emotions, to be spontaneous. That's what life is really about, is the fun and play of it, not taking it so seriously with structure and intellectual, and I'm serving humanity, and this new scientific invention is going to change humanity. No. Be just simple. Just beautifully heart-centered, and just right where we need it. And the place where we need it is the place where we need it. Now, Virgo. Virgo is assigned to service. So, Virgo, you're getting a chance to put your service hat on and say, I am going to serve others, but not in a way where I am depleting myself. I'm going to serve because I have the genuine, authentic desire to serve others. It's a beautiful quality, Virgo, that you want to serve. I'm not here to keep you from serving if it comes from your own heart and soul. I am here to keep you from serving if it comes from a place of martyrdom and obligation and having to and sacrificing yourself and people pleasing. Okay, that's what I'm not okay with you engaging, because I don't want that for you, Virgo. I want you to live your heart energy. Live what is true for you inside of your own soul. So what role do you want to play? And what role is not serving you anymore, Virgo? Serving does not have to be a sacrificial thing. It can be a deep, heart-centered feeling. Now, are the two people who put pizza at the table serving from integrity? Do they prepare the pizza out of this obligation of, I have to bake the dough, and I have to knead, I have to prepare the toppings, and I have to put it on the lunch table in the cafeteria, and I have to lay it out for everybody to come and grab the pizza, right? Or are they serving from integrity because this is the more humanitarian form, the more humanitarian fashion, serving from the place of integrity, the place of heart, the place of honesty, the place of authenticity? And maybe you're stuck in a habit pattern where you need to break out of this habit pattern and change this to make it purify and cleanse your energy. What change do you need to make that will purify and cleanse you? Really, really bring you peace. when you decide to actively engage with that change. That's the key, is being willing to engage with the change. Responding to the change accordingly and acting in accordance to that change. So, how do you need to, what do you need to do? What change do you need to make? I know it's hard. Even though you're a mutable sign, you want structure, you want routine, but when you make this change, you'll feel so much more liberated, you'll feel so much more free, like, wow, I didn't know that making this change could make myself feel so light and so peaceful inside of myself. That's really worth doing, isn't it? Doesn't that feel good? Okay, now Libra. Zoom recording, Skype, great things for you now, Libra. Connect through others, through technology. Meet with others through the online world, through that world of cyberspace, through where you can form communities and groups and engagements and everything. Will you connect with others in that way of spatial connection, online connection, intellectual connection? That's really worth doing for you now, Libra. Is that intellectual connection through technology. Now, maybe online or in real life, you want to work with others to form new ways of being, form new solutions, come up with win-win solutions. Libra's all about that win-win solution. Libra's all about what works for both people involved. Libra's all about what works for everybody involved. Libra wants everyone to be included. And you meet with like-minded people in doing this, and you form new ways of collaborating with them. And in Calabria, not Calabria, but other places, you meet and you form connections. And you interact. People who think like you. People who think in very, very positive ways. I think that like-minded doesn't mean just people who think alike, but people who think in good terms for humanity. People who have strong moral compasses. People who act from integrity. I think that also describes like-minded people. That's typically what it's associated with. Now, Scorpio. Where, Scorpio, do you feel squashed? And is technology playing a role in squashing your power? Taking back your power. Technology has done so many great things for us in our lives. It's provided us with the ability to live more efficiently, live more conveniently. We can look things up on Google. We can find an answer. We can watch videos. We can create online. We can put ourselves out there on social media. We can print things out. There's all kinds of stuff. We can talk on the telephone to each other in that kind of way through technology. Even that is amazing. And we've taken all this for granted, right? But is technology keeping you from your own creative power? Your own power to create your own reality, Scorpio. Your own beautiful reality. Is technology keeping you from building this reality for yourself and for others? How, Scorpio? How is it keeping you from your own personal power? Now, is technology whipping away human connection to connect, to share emotion, to share vulnerability, to be more heartfelt? And if we live in a world designed by the robots and the technology, and going along with the groups and the tribe, we have squash authenticity. Squash authenticities and authenticities. So where do you need to remain vulnerable? Heart connection, heart coherence, matters relating to the heart. Scorpio is that deep, intense emotional sign. So where does that deep, intense emotion need to play a part in the world? I have a Scorpio South Node. And Scorpio South Node has a tendency to just do things because we want approval from others, for our own sense of self-worth. We do things because we do not feel worthy of ourselves. We do not feel secure about ourselves. They will overdo it just for the sake of external validation. But where do you need to evaluate or reevaluate your life? Where can I validate myself? Where can I love myself? Where can I not always do things just for others because I don't feel worthy to be myself? Like, what if you could be so free as to just, like, it's so liberating just to validate yourself and say, I am doing the right thing. I am doing the right thing. I am doing a good thing. I am doing a thing that's authentic to me. I am worthy to do this. I am doing it, like, that is so empowering to not always have the habit of looking up on Google Gemini what the solution is, or looking at, or talking to somebody and finding the solution there. I mean, yeah, we want to interact, we want to exchange values and perspectives and all that, but really, are you there to go to a straying person in the Amazon rainforest? Or are you here to stay at your own home, in your own house, in your comfy slippers? So, do things just for yourself. But don't worry about everybody else. What they think about you, what they care about you, what they mean for you. And just do what's true for you, Scorpio. Now, Sagittarius. If you're sitting on the water, in the ocean, in the lake, and you wait for the eclipse to come, well, if you're, I don't know, in like Australia maybe. But let's face it, February you're not going to want to be doing this. Like, you're probably going to be comfy at home. Now, do not take the trip. Excuse me. Do take the trip. Do take that trip. Don't think that it'll be ruined because you'll just see an eclipse. Would it make a great opportunity for you, Sagittarius, to go on a trip and see an eclipse? That is amazing. I know I did back in 2017. The very, very last time that I did was in 2017. And it was a solar eclipse in Leo. And it was amazing to see the full spectrum of what that looked like. We went to a trip. We went out of town. We were gone the whole day. And we saw the eclipse. That was the very last time that I ever saw an eclipse. I kid you not. And, you know, where can you focus on what can be gained for the collective as opposed to individual gain, selfish gain? In the Aquarian age, we're all free to be ourselves, and we're all worthy of being free, Sagittarius. You are, and everybody is, to live out our soul's desires. We're all free to move on our own path, and we respect each other's own individual soul's path, and we don't keep each other from living on our path. We don't have this egoic mentality of I'm right, you're wrong, I'm superior to you, and you're inferior to me. You know, like, everybody is free to do their own thing in the Aquarian age. Where can you create that better life for the collective? And maybe a change needs to happen, Sagittarius, where you're changing a new location, a vocation, or something new in your life. Something new, something new, something new, something new, something. I can sing that song for you, Sagittarius. Yeah, but really, creating something, moving in a new direction, changing your life, changing it up. That you may need a new location, something new, something to revolutionize your life. And maybe you just need this. Maybe we all need this. So change it up. Change any structure that does not need to be there any longer. Change any structure that does not need to be in place any longer. You can change this structure. You can change this thing so that freedom comes in and you feel way more liberated. That's the key for you, Sagittarius. Now, Capricorn. I'd stay away from Mel Robbins. Just saying, because in the middle of February, you don't want to be going out, running, and doing all this. Like, it's not a masculine season. Winter is a feminine season. So, in the middle of February, you may need to sleep in. Allow yourself to rest, Capricorn. Allow yourself to just be with yourself. And not being so busy at work. Getting up in the morning, pushing yourself, going to work, doing all the tasks that Capricorn does because it's a workaholic sign at worst. It's a sign that works and slaves away and does all this kind of thing. So, where do you need to let yourself sleep in? Instead of always pushing yourself in the morning to just get going and do the work and do the, do the routine and do the, the task or, whatever. Not just slaving away, Capricorn. Not needing the validation for your accomplishments, not needing to define yourself by your accomplishments, by engaging in these workaholic tendencies, making you feel valued. But you are really valued for who you are, Capricorn. as a sovereign individual, not needing these external accomplishments to define your own sense of self-worth. Capricorn gets so caught up in these accomplishments defining their sense of self-worth for them. But now it's time to have intrinsic, internal validation. Where you're validating your own heart, your own soul, because you're just who you are as a sovereign individual. And you're doing a good thing by what you're doing. You're doing the right thing for you. You're doing the authentic thing for you. You are valuing yourself for who you are authentically. That's really what you're doing. What your long-term plans will do, they will reveal themselves over time. Your long-term plans will reveal themselves. You will see the long-term plan come into play here. You will see that you've carved out long-term plans, and you will see them start to unfold over time. Yeah, so Capricorn, you will see that you set seeds, you planted seeds, and you're making things happen. And you're seeing the plan just unfold with the unfolding of what you're doing. But you set long-term structures, you set long-term plans, and I'm not saying stop doing this and say, in fact, I want you to continue doing this. You will just see these plans unfold in a timely fashion that is divine timing. That's based off of divine timing. Now, Aquarius. This is your solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse, Aquarius. I'm gonna get down for you. Get down. Let me just take a ticker so I can talk to you more easily. Now, what structures do you want to create that serve collective growth? What structures serve everybody? And how can you contribute to the outdated structures going away? Aquarius wants freedom. Aquarius wants liberation. Aquarius wants to see those outdated structures go away and, be gone from you. And this and that. That's what Aquarius wants to see. So how can you let go of these outdated structures? And how can you create structures that serve the collective? Help to create structures that serve the collective. Be an active participant in the collective gain. Now, you may not be so intellectual in the head and detached. Like Aquarius is a very, very detached sign. It's cut off. It's not attached to beliefs, feelings, identification of yourself. It is cut off, and it is in a higher plane, a higher pedestal. But maybe you're moving into the more spiritual, emotional component of your plans. Maybe now your plans will meet up with spirituality and tag team each other and become best friends with spirituality, where your plans have a place in the realm of spirituality. So maybe you need to let go of this cut-off quality. It has to be all scientific, objective, left brain, logical. But what if it can be more spiritual, more compassion, more right brain? Now, you may not want to conform to others when it simply doesn't feel right to conform. When it simply does not feel right to just go along with what others want. You're the sign that doesn't follow. You're the sign that does not conform to what others want. You go your own way. That's the thing for Aquarius, is it goes its own way. And so you're being invited to not conform, but to do your own thing. Be independent, be free, be sovereign. Don't conform. It's an authentic, that group thing, just going along with the herd. I'm going along with the group. I'm going along with the herd. I'm going along with everybody. Like, that is not the way, Aquarius. I'm telling you honestly, like, that is not the way. It's not the way. So you don't want to do that at this time. So just saying, Aquarius. Now, Pisces. If there is anyone that expects you to fit into a fishbowl, be normal. Be so-called normal. Fit into that fishbowl and just do whatever is expected of you. Do whatever society wants from you. Acting normal. Breaking away from your imaginative, your spiritual, your intuitive self, and keeping you from your authenticity. How can you stop, Pisces, and accept yourself exactly as you are, simply as the intuitive, spiritual, loving, compassionate, sensitive soul that you are, that wants to serve, that is selfless, that is kind, that is caring, and you want to be kind to others. You want to be caring to others in that kind of way. So, you don't want to fit into a fishbowl, into a certain way of being that just doesn't serve you anymore. It just doesn't work out for you. So, you want to be free. To swim, because Pisces is a fish. It swims, it just floats, it just goes in each and every direction. It's fluid. You want to be free to be fluid. You want to be free to flow from one state to another. You want to be free to just meander around. Now, boundaries. Boundaries! Because your imagination and your dreams, all these weird, quirky parts of you get exposed in public. Okay, two ways of thinking about this. You can either be normal, or you can have your things exposed. Are you going to find a middle ground, Pisces? Are you going to be authentic to yourself? Are you going to be normal, fluid? Are you going to be imaginative, intuitive? But you're going to set boundaries so that you're not taken advantage of. You're not having your own qualities of compassion and care and sensitivity taken advantage of. You're setting healthy boundaries. Having people not take over, having people not, take control of this is very, very huge for you, Pisces. So maybe, that needs to be playing a role. And then, structures. This new moon solar eclipse is all about structures. So, what structures do you want to create? Fostering compassion, empathy for humanity. Fostering all the good things. Structures that foster. What does the word foster mean exactly? Nurture something. Nurturing, improving. Structures that have compassion, that care about humanity, like leaders who are benevolent. Leaders who are not just out for themselves, like me, I want to be the most powerful, it's all about me. No. If you are a leader, you think of your people. That's what a leader does. It thinks of the people that it's leading. It's the leader of its people, not just, it should be all about me and I should be the most powerful and I should be the one in charge and, listen to me. No, you're listening to me because I can prove how strong and capable I am of leading others and thinking of the greater good of others. Like it just makes sense if you're a leader, you're thinking about the greater good of all. Like that is real leadership. And that is one of the lessons that Saturn and Leo people learn. Leaders who are compassionate, who do have empathy, structures that do have that empathy. So that's what you want to develop in your own life. That's what you want to create in your own life. So anyway, that is what I have to say for Pisces. Really all 12 signs for the solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about Mars retrograde. But not this upcoming Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde in Cancer and Leo that we had from December 6th through February 23rd. Of 2025. And for this video, I may just generate an image and label it. So your next couple of videos, you'll probably be seeing a label with that image to get the sort of right flavor. I'm just so curious for what it's going to be. I'm so fascinated. And so I'm looking forward to create that image for you or generate that image so you can see it. And it will be, again, labeled for you to know that it is AI that I am using. So look forward to that. And look forward to really the content of the video that I'll be talking about. And looking at that Mars retrograde and what it was like and how it was like for all 12 signs also. So going into the past transits, and then maybe Venus retrograde, then some more eclipses or, whatever I want to do next. So anyway, that's all that I have for now. Bye for now. Bye for now, everybody!